Why will you never forgive your parents? My wife passed away while giving birth to my daughter, and what made it much worse was that in the aftermath, my mom somehow became convinced she could replace my wife and parent my daughter alongside me. At first I thought it was just grief, or maybe her way of staying close to the baby. Plus, I was drowning in diapers and bottles and grief, and she helped. But it quickly turned into something else, full-blown obsession. She started showing up unannounced, rearranging the nursery, ignoring how I wanted things done. She'd changed my daughter's nap schedule because she read somewhere babies sleep better at different times. She'd pick her up while I was rocking her. She even started calling herself Mama when she thought I couldn't hear. I tried to set boundaries, but she brushed them off, told me I was too overwhelmed to know what was best. The last straw was when she enrolled my daughter in a daycare without asking. She signed the forms, handed them to me and said, "Now you'll have time to breathe." I was livid. We had a huge fight. I took my spare key back and told her to stay out of our lives until she could respect that I was the parent. She cried and said I was being cruel. That was 3 years ago. It hurt, but life got better. I raised my daughter on my own. She was my world. I kept things simple. I worked hard, kept our routines, and made sure she never had to feel such chaos. But then she turned 8 and started asking about my parents. She wanted to know why she didn't see her grandma and grandpa in a while. It caught me off guard, and something about the way she asked made me want to reach out. So I did. For her. I called my dad first. He was always the quieter one. He said they'd love to come, but my mom didn't say much during that call. Just asked what she could bring. I didn't want anything from her. I just wanted one peaceful evening. And so, I planned a big dinner. I cooked everything myself. I made sure to include things everyone liked. It started off okay. Awkward, but fine. My dad stayed quiet as usual. My daughter was polite and a little nervous. My mom acted like nothing ever happened. She complimented the place, asked my daughter questions, and smiled a lot. I sat tense the whole time. But then halfway through the meal, my daughter started coughing. At first it sounded like a dry throat, but then her lip started swelling. She grabbed at her stomach and said it hurt. I froze for half a second. Then I realized what it was, and I jumped into gear. I grabbed her EpiPen, gave her the shot, and held her hand while she cried. I called 911. My mom just stood there. She started saying I'm sorry, over and over again, but I wasn't listening to her. I was focused on keeping my daughter calm, telling her she was okay, help was on the way. The ambulance came fast. The EMTs checked her out and told me she was stable, thanks to the quick response. After they left, and I got my daughter settled in bed, I came back to the living room. My mom was pacing. She had tears in her eyes. She kept whispering, "I didn't know, and I'm sorry." I asked her what she was sorry for, and she just looked at me. And before I knew it, the dam broke. She started crying, letting out these painful, choked sobs. She had to drink water and sit down to stop herself from heaving. When we finally got her calmed down, she started to explain. She told me she still had an old spare key I never knew about. And earlier today, the day of the dinner, while I was picking up my daughter from school, she let herself in. She went through my fridge and swapped out the almond butter in one of the sauces with peanut butter. My face went pale. My daughter is deathly allergic to peanuts. My mom knows this. When I told her so, she said she thought my daughter would have grown out of it by now, and it wouldn't be as bad, just a mild reaction. She said she was just trying to prove I wasn't as capable of being her dad as I made it seem. She said she thought that by giving my daughter peanuts, she'd give her a mild reaction and watch as I panicked, not knowing what to do. But then my daughter ate the peanuts, and when my mom saw how serious it was, she freaked out. I remember just staring with my mouth agape when she said that. She could have killed my daughter. I asked her what was wrong with her. I asked her if she has any ridges in her brain, or if it's just smooth there. I told her she was the most idiotic, careless, stupid, disgusting, backstabbing, vile, putrid, heartless woman I have ever had the displeasure of meeting. I told her very bluntly to get out of the house now, and I turned to my dad and told him to get going too. They both stood there waiting for me to take my words back, but I didn't. I shoved them out and locked the door behind them. The nightmare was over. At least that's what I thought, because a few seconds later the banging on my door started. My mom yelled, "I'm not leaving." I couldn't tell you what happened next. The full story is on my channel and linked below.